कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। To grant the wish as requested by Dasharatha, who performed Ashwamedha Yajna and later performed the Putrakama Ishti, a Yajna Purusha arose from the fires, or as said before, he walked from the forest and came to the Yajna Vatika. He was carrying the Pāyasam in a golden pot, silver lid, or you can keep it the other way, silver pot, golden lid. All these have been described by Valmiki. Why should he mention? The commentator states, there are certain rinam. Rinam means loan, debt. We have towards two categories. One are the devas. Second are our pitrus. Pitrulokam. Pitru generally means those forefathers. Please do not assume my father's father. No. In their name, we do attribute and give it to a certain category of people. Like how you have a category called yakshas, kinnaras, kimpurushas, gandharvas, devas, there is one category called pitru. For all those departed jivatmas which have been housed in the material body on this mundane earth for a certain period of time, those jivatmas register themselves against the name given to that particular body. Let us say that the jivatma has been housed in a body and that body is given the name Srinivasa. Now, in the previous janma, the same jivatma was in another body. That jivatma was called as Maithili. There is no necessity that you have to be a male in all your births, female in all your births. There is no necessity that you have to be a human in all your births. So imagine the person was Maithili before, now Srinivasa, earlier a woman, now a man. The jivatma is the same. While the jivatma is housed in the human body, it performs a lot of actions. It lives for a certain period. After the jivatma has departed, in the name of that departed jivatma, the people who are living in that particular family give pinda pradhanam or do their shraddham to pitrus. So there is a small debt of us attached to the pitrus. So in such a scenario, that is why our acharyas have insisted, keep doing the activities or karma as mentioned in our shastram, like shraddham, abdhikam and so on. Now all this has been mentioned. Well, on our note, we have to understand how much ever we perform, there will be small amount of dissatisfaction. I still remember the days for my English paper, Hindi paper, Tamil paper, the teacher will never grant us full marks. Even if you have written the best, she will still say, I'll give only 97 or 98. So there is one small element of dissatisfaction. There is no satisfaction by the pitrus. This is called a pitru rinam. You have debt towards the pitrus. So how can I get solved of pitru rinam? If you donate silver, then that pitru rinam will get over. Similarly, towards the devas, the celestials, we may have little rinam, deva rinam. And that can get annihilated by we doing charity of gold. So for deva rinam, gold. Pitru rinam, silver. Now, Dasharatha must have had some rinam. That is why his desire for having sons got delayed. For no further delay, he has to offer something in charity. So the Devas thought, instead of him giving that in charity, we will give something in charity. Thereby his sins will go away. So that is why the Pāyasam came in a vessel with a lid of silver and gold combination. Second, some of our acharyas opine that silver as a metal has the property to retain heat. Gold as a metal has the property to expel heat. So that is why in earlier days our forefathers used to have food on silver plates because the heat will be retained. That is why we sport gold jewelry, because it has the ability to accept the heat from our body and expel the excess heat. Gold expels excess heat. Heat is retained by silver. The payasam which has emerged has to be given to the queens. If it is very hot, they may find it very tough to consume. If it is very cold, they would wish that it was slightly warm to enjoy the taste. Any day, warm food is very tasty. So it should neither be too hot nor cold. It should be in a lukewarm condition where the queens can enjoy and consume the payasam. That is why the payasa patram was a combination of silver and gold. Say some acharyas. All these are reasons cited for it. Now the Yajna Purusha arose. Shaila Shringam Samutsedham Dripta Shardula Vikramam. That payasam emerged. Now Dasharatha as a king had many wives. When I say many wives, again a question. Sir, when a king or any human being marries multiple people at the same time, wouldn't that go to that extent where women are not given equal importance? Imagine the king allots room number 1 for the first wife, room number 2 for the second wife. Isn't this an insult to the first lady? Where you are not treated equal, there are multiple women in the house. Will such men agree when the woman has many husbands? Yes, we do have an example of Dasharatha having many wives and Draupadi having many husbands. Is this the way the society should live? No. Ideally, no. Monogamy is what is always our Shastras have recommended. But in those days, such marriages were also political alliances. Just imagine that there is a valorous king living in a kingdom and there are many kingdoms neighboring this kingdom. Understanding that the king is very powerful, strong military presence, very strong body power, then he may have the ability to annex the neighboring kingdom. So the neighboring king, what he would do is, he would give away his daughter, use her as a tool to get her married to the valorous king, thereby bringing security to his region. So women were also treated as political pawns. That is why in those days many kings had many multiple partners, many wives. One. Second thing, we could also attribute it to some of the kings and their pleasures to have multiple women. Third, in those days, to give assurance to and security to a woman, marriage was used as a tool. In whichever scenario, personally, in my humble opinion, I am against polygamy. Monogamy is only the way ahead where the man and the woman live as equal partners. But now you may have a question. Why did Dasharatha have many wives? As I have kept telling in many public forums, he did not seek my permission to marry many wives. So I won't have the right answer. We are understanding Srimad Ramayanam so that we can pick up good points and implement it in our life. If you feel that this point of having multiple partners is wrong, so be it. Discard that particular point. Be a very truthful partner. If you're a man or a woman, be an honest and a truthful partner. Now, Dasharatha had to distribute that payasam amongst his wives, especially the principal wives who were 3 in number: Kaushalya, Kaikeyi and Sumitra. Kaushalya was the first wife, no doubt. Be it Valmiki Ramayanam throughout, the commentaries, and in many other places, even in the transcreations of Ramayanam in the regional languages, Kaushalya is referred to as the first queen, principal wife. Kaikeyi and Sumitra is where the slight confusion comes. In certain places, Kaikeyi is referred to as Madhyamamba, the middle mother. In certain scenario, certain cases, certain sargas, Sumitra is referred to as Madhyamamba, the middle mother. So either it is Kaushalya, Kaikeyi and Sumitra, or Kaushalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi. So the position of 2 and 3, whether it is 2 and 3 or 3-2 is a question. We shall deal with that as and when we get into Ramayanam of Aranya Kandam in detail, especially Ayodhya and Aranya Kandam, such instances will come. For now, let us assume it is Kaushalya, Sumitra and Kaikeyi. This is the order that we will now assume. Now this particular Pāyasam which had emerged in the hands of Yajna Purusha had to be distributed. I am sure there will be experts in mathematics. With my little knowledge, I can tell you. 10 divided by 3. You divide it and see, you will keep getting a non-terminating decimal. You will get it as 3.33333333. It's a non-terminating decimal. So 3.33 plus 3.33 plus 3.33 is still 9.99. It doesn't add up to 10. That is when maths uses a certain exceptional power and says, make the non-terminating decimal a terminating decimal, which is one of them will become 3.33 to 3.34. Then you add it up 3.34 plus 3.33 plus 3.33, you will get it as 10. So, dividing one particular number by 3 is really tough, especially if the number is something like 10 or 100 or 1000 by 3 is tough. So, how will he divide this Pāyasa Patram? First, he has to divide it amongst 3 people. But Dasharatha commands Sumantra to go get 4 cups. Why? If you remember the earlier episode, Sumantra reminds Dasharatha that Sanat Kumaras had blessed him that he will have 4 sons. So when you have been given the boon of 4 sons, why not use 4 cups? So he brought cup 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 cups. Now Dasharatha had to distribute. Of the Pāyasam which was obtained by him, he gave away half to Kaushalya. So here he says, Kausalyayai narapatihi Pāyasārdham dadau tada. Pāyasārdham, half of the Pāyasam was given to Kaushalya. Remaining there is another 50% of that. Ardhadardham dadau chapi Sumitrayai naradhipaha. Half of that. Half of the remaining half, which is 25%, was given to Sumitra. In the remaining 25%, Kaikeyai cha vasishtardham dadau putrarthakaranat. Half of the remaining portion of the half in the first half, which is, let us take 100. Half of it was given to Kaushalya. Remaining 50, half of it, 25 was given to Sumitra. In the remaining 25, 12.5 was given to Kaikeyi. What is remaining? 12.5. Pradadau cha vasishtardham Pāyasasyamritopamam anuchintya Sumitrayai punareva mahamatihi. Anuchintya Sumitrayai punareva mahamatihi. That man of great knowledge gave away the remaining 12.5 again to Sumitra. There are 2 great things mentioned in these shlokas. While giving to Kaikeyi, Valmiki states, Kaikeyai chavasishtardham dadau putrarthakaranat. Because he wanted a son, he gave that remaining half, you have the 12.5, right, to Kaikeyi. Desiring sons, why was this word not put when he gave the Pāyasam to Kaushalya or Sumitra? Why only to Kaikeyi? First question. Second, there is a remaining 12.5. The king could have given that away to Kaushalya herself for the second time. Or Kaikeyi, he liked Kaikeyi, loved Kaikeyi a lot. He could have given that. But why did he choose Sumitra to be the recipient of the second share of the Pāyasam? Anuchintya Sumitraye Punareva Mahamatihi Punaha Eva. Again, he gave it to Sumitra. Why so? Well, these are very important questions that we shall take up in the next episode. Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a 2-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.